Well then, did you think we'd make it? At times, wasn't sure if we'd make it. Those times with the Evo Stick Northern Premier Division. Those times. But welcome back to episode of Thames FC, and it's the summer transfer window special, in which it's not a live stream, which will be obvious to you now watching this. I hope that no, I could have done a live stream, but it's taken me about 8 to 10 hours to do this, so that's why it's not a live stream. I've never spent a longer time on a transfer window than this transfer window, and I've gone pretty big. You remember we had about £29 million to spend. There'll already be a name on there that you recognise. In fact, 2 names there that are probably quite happy. You're probably quite happy to see them. I'll put it that way. I've just realised I've changed ethnicity, which is curious. Thank you, Football Manager, for that. Appreciate it. But you can see there then, our 33 million ended up being actually 33 million original budget. Well, that's gone, and we're in 17.7 million pounds of debt. Although the projection is to be in 33 million pounds worth of money coming into the season. Of course, we will make this money back through TV revenue, that of which we've not received yet. When we do receive it, this is going to be fine. I think this will be fine. In terms of wage budget, we're still down there to every other team anywhere. So don't you worry about it. I think if we win the Championship this year, we might be about halfway now. So, but let's talk through then some outs and some ins. Thames have been busy, money's been spent, and it's time to start with the outs. And there's one name here that I'm not very happy about, and that name is Steve Foster, who has left the club after a 10-year plus period at Thames, starting in the Vanarama South, got him from Coventry on a free transfer, was an amazing player to get at that era, at that time of Thames football, and now as he got to the Premier League, he's decided to release himself from his contract and disappear forever. If I can get him back at some point, viewers, I will, so don't worry. If he finds a new club though, heartbreak. I mean, he's not needed as such, but I would like to have him back in here. The fans really like him. That's good enough for me. And he's not the only face leaving the club then. Holness has gone again. He's left the club twice now. Ash White has gone as well as some actual player sales. The first of which is Kane Morris, who's gone for about £325,000. Didn't really play him in the last couple of years, or the last season, in fact. So I thought it made sense to cash in while we can. He's gone off to Reading. He's a decent little player, to be fair. It's worth noting, by the way, and this is the first time I'm really noticing this, is that I've changed the colours of the player attributes thresholds. We're now at 15, 12 and 9. Before we were 14, 10 and 8, I think. So it's been quite a big jump. So some players who previously would have looked quite good won't look quite as good anymore, apart from Ben Hur, who's still sick. We'll come to Ben Hur in a moment. Other players to leave, of course, then are Renato Welterwink, who at one point we tried to sign back on loan, but couldn't get a work permit. I love this game. I love it. Kevin Lewis has also gone off to Crystal Palace on a loan deal for the year. Hopefully we'll progress a little bit quicker. We're getting game time, hopefully. But yeah, we weren't going to play him this year for obvious reasons, as will become evident soon. Stephen Slater also went to Dover on loan, but you won't have seen much of him at all. He's just an academy prospect. And that then brings us to the ins. £29 million spent. Of course, 33 million is because of things like agent fees and signing on fees, but we're now in a situation where we've brought in this bubble of lot. And something really interesting I want to say about work permits is that for a long time this transfer window, work permits were getting rejected, and I was thinking that means we can't have them. What I actually think the work permit situation is that they can sign on an initial deal and get a work permit, but when they re-sign the contract, they might not get a work permit. It's good, isn't it? No, it's not good. I don't know what the situation's going to be when it comes to that point, but you can see some big names in there, big clubs that have signed from Real Madrid in there and Celtic in there, so, you know, names you've heard of, Kaiserslautern there. This is an interesting window, folks. It's the first time I've had money to spend, and I've spent it. But let's start, though, with a couple of free transfers. Now, Alex Miller might be a name that's familiar to you. He's a victim, really, of the change in attribute colours. Lots of 14s there. He would have looked far better under the yellow lights of 14s being yellow. We've brought him in on a free transfer from Wolverhampton Wanderers. We almost got him on loan one season. I just thought to be able to pick him up as a backup striker, to have him around the club, a little bit like Dodd last season, who I did actually try and sell, and could still leave because the transfer window for the Championship hasn't yet closed. Just the Premier League has closed as we play our first game today. But Alex Miller brought in, free transfer, backup player. I just think he's a nice player to have. Good finishing, composure off the ball, a bit pacey as well, tall, decent strength. I mean, he could be okay here. The next free transfer then is a name that is tricky to say, but is still English. Kawabena Tawaya. Oh dear. I don't even know how to nickname that. I've got no idea. Basically a backup centre-back, 3-star current ability, was released from his team with West Ham, and I've decided to pick him up. He's had some loan spells successfully, pretty much at Crystal Palace. They were a good team last year, you might recall, and he played 42 matches. We've brought him in, can play left-back, right-back, or centre-back. Very, very good physically. He's got decent tackling, marking and heading. Again, a really solid backup centre-back for us to have at the club, and worth a bit of money as well. To get on a free transfer, that ain't too bad. And now we've started spending some money. And let's go to Jacobo Jimenez from Real Madrid. Let's see him. How good is he, Ben? Well, in my opinion, folks, he's pretty good. He's nicely well-rounded as a central midfielder, plays that box-to-box role. Pat Street has not returned to Thames, and we'll talk about a few of the loan signings in a moment. But yeah, Jacob Jimenez, JJ, I think he might be affectionately known in the centre of midfield. Has been brought from Real Madrid. Has had some decent spells. Has played for their first team very early in his career. Has had a couple of really successful spells at Real Madrid B. One season, 14 goals, 12 assists from midfield. Very, very good indeed. Last season, contributed as well. We've brought him in on a £1.1 million deal. Again, a player I was a bit concerned about the work permit situation, but I think it's fine. I think he'll be allowed to play. We'll find out in a moment, but it doesn't say like he can't play due to work permit issues, so I think we're okay. But yeah, I like him. Tackling, passing, first touch. He's got a bit of everything, this boy. As we move up the ladder to Ike, let's take a look at Ike. So Ike is a 20-year-old Nigerian with 17 caps under his belt. Now, I was brought him in as sort of the backup right back. He may well be our best right back. The other was brought in from Celtic. We'll look at Toby Breach in just a moment. But you can see physically very solid, great teamwork, work rate, determination's very solid too. Great little free kick taker, which is something you don't always expect for a right back. Marking and tackling are okay for this division. 12 I actually think is not too bad. At this end of the division, fullbacks are pretty hard to get a hold of. I think he could be really good. He would really make a fantastic centre-back, 6'4", but he doesn't have any heading ability despite having a good jumping reach, which is a bit of an issue. At 20, we can still retrain him to be a centre-back, work on his heading, but to get it from 8 to around 14, 15, which is what it needs to be eventually, probably isn't going to happen. Still got lots of potential about him though, and to get him in on a £1.4 million deal from Croatia, I think is really good. Had a decent season last year. So yeah, there he is then. Igibor Ike, I'm calling him at the moment though, because it's easier to say. We move up the conveyor belt. Toby Breach, I did mention him then, was brought in as our first choice right back and still may well be. Kane Morris has of course left the club, and you can see why when you see the crossing ability, marking, tackling ability, good mentals, physicals, and after spending a little bit of time at Celtic after moving on a free transfer, after starting at Southampton in his early career, I think he's a good addition to the team. We've got two solid right backs now that we can rotate if we need to, can play the one if needs be. But yeah, what I love about Toby Breach is fantastic teamwork, concentration, and that's what you want in a fullback, I think. Great stamina too to get up and down. Welcome, Toby Breach. Continue up. And Nicholas Ammerbach. This is a good one. 4.4 million, his release fee from FC Salzburg in Austria. And you can see the Austrian there. I feel a little bit giddy. He's our most paid player at £45,000 a week on a 4-year contract. Yes, he's got a release fee, but that release fee is £38 million. So I'm not too disheartened by that. And he could be, if we can find him again, he could be an absolute superstar. Heading, marking, tackling, obviously all of those can improve. A bit of a ball player at the back as well with 12 passing. Physically, fantastic. 6'5", mentals to die for, and he's 22 years of age. And we've got him for 4.4 million on a release fee to foreign clubs. It's unbelievable, really. I think he could be a mainstay. Bit temperamental, bless him, and hopefully some of that won't play too much of an impact in the rest of it. But he's volatile, confrontational, but media friendly. So he likes the media, just not everybody else. He's also vice captain, so welcome Ammerbach. I think we're going to get to like him. Not very brave for a centre back. We'll work on that. Okay, Pedro Velasco from Getafe. That's right, we went to Spain and we got a little bit giddy, if I'm being honest, viewers. I've brought in another absolute diamond. 4-star current ability, passing, long shots, first touch, leadership, vision, decision-making, physical abilities as well. Can't jump, can't head, don't care. Hasn't got a great natural fitness either. But if you're looking for a Spanish technician at 22 years of age, has played for the under-21s in Spain, I think this is your man. It's like 4.8 million, has played first division Spanish football matches in the past, and you look at him there, folks. He could be a superstar. Come on, he could be, couldn't he? Could he? Yes, of course. I'd say bought 4.8, already worth 9.5, so we've done pretty well there. 25 grand a week, one of our more highly paid players. We'll take a look at the list in a minute because you'll be interested to see that, I think. But Pedro Velasco, looking good. All right, let's move up a little further to Pierre Sommer, who could be the deal of the summer. Pierre, we'll see. I realised I've just made a pun there and totally gone over it. Pierre Sommer, here we go. Bought in then from Kaiserslautern, the 21-year-old German, as we would say, we bought for 7 million, has had an okay career in the second tier of Germany, but if you just take a little look, viewers, acceleration, pace, strength, composure off the ball, and finishing ability to die for, this guy to me is the perfect poacher for a side like ours. If Ben-Hur decides to move on at some point or gets injured, Pierre Sommer is that guy. He can also play on either wing as well. Not brilliantly, but he can feature on either side for us. I just think he could be a difference maker in this division, especially if we're struggling to get goals late on. To bring him on, so 10, 15 minutes to go, tired defensive legs in this Premier League, he could be a superstar. Things to work on mentally and a few technical things to do as well, but Pierre Sommer, I think for 7 million, 30 grand a week, we've done all right. And he only considers himself a rotation, so he won't be mad about not being first choice. That was a big thing for me. And then finally, though, you can see there, £8.25 million from Belgium side Cercle Bruges. I think that's similar to that. If you're from Belgium, that's definitely wrong, and I apologise. I've been to Bruges. I've disgraced myself for anything. Domenico Willems, you can see him there to play in that shadow striker, advanced playmaker role. Physically, he's got everything you're looking for in that sort of player. Mentally, he's got everything you're looking for in that sort of player, and technically as well, a similar story. First touch, finishing, dribbling, passing's okay too, technique's fantastic. Those mentals for me are the real shining light. But 24 years of age from Belgium, can improve still too. I don't know if we're going to play him as a shadow striker or advanced playmaker. I think we'll start him off as the playmaker and then maybe move him into his more natural role. Unless he becomes a natural playmaker, then there'll be no need. But oh, I like him. Last year, ignore this year, he's already played 2 games this season, technically, in Belgium. But last year, 11 goals, 2 assists. Needs to stop the assists if he's going to play for me. But those 11 goals from midfield, I think, could be, again, a real highlight of his game. Can play as a striker, can play centrally if absolutely necessary. Got that versatility to his game. To Domenico Willems, welcome to Thames FC. And that then wraps up the transfer window. Now, of course, I did mention it last season, but Hutchinson and Patterson return as defensive options. Patterson, of course, on loan again from West Ham, as is Hutchinson. Our 2 Premier League loan players have been brought in, and we had them last year. Both were fantastic. To just recap, Matthew Hutchinson last season, 16 goals, 16 assists, a magician. And this then is the squad moving forward. Positions we didn't improve and potentially could have done. Left back, goalkeeper, but we had to kind of prioritise, and I thought getting in a centre back and a new right back were absolutely key, as well as working on that central role, central midfield position, and getting some real good talent in there as well. And replacing Steve Conlon in that attacking midfield spot was also quite important. Conlon had a fantastic year last year, but I think Premier League football, you have to make an improvement. As I say, was brilliant last year. It's been brilliant for me ever since he's been here, but we had to make a change in that position, I think, and that's why Williams has been brought in to replace him. So what do you think? That's how things are looking. Ben-Hur, of course, might surprise lots of you, is still here. Clubs aren't bidding his release fee. I'm not going to talk. I'm just leaving him be. It's interesting though. Got one negative. Wants to play in a better division. Does Ben-Hur? Just take a look at the competition reputation there. You can see he plays in the best division. So I don't know when that'll change, if it'll ever change. He also wants to move to a bigger club, so that I can understand. Better division, unlikely. Right then, that's everything in terms of... that could have been an episode on its own, but let's play our first game of the season. And interestingly, fantastically, it comes against Bournemouth, who were promoted with us last season. I gave Canvey Island an absolute battering as well in a friendly, so we're feeling good. Didn't beat Liverpool, Ajax, United or Chelsea, so, you can't win them all, can you? We also went to Spain, where we picked up a few Spanish people. That makes it sound like we kidnapped them. Team-wise then, and selection-wise, take a look at what we're working with. There's a massive decision to be made in the centre of midfield this season, whether we go with Velasco or whether we go with Jimenez in the centre. They're 2 very different players. One's more creative, one's more of a ball winner, or a box-to-box midfielder, and Jimenez is that guy. So we're going to slot him in there to begin with, because that's what we had Pat Street doing last year. I don't want to change too many things too rapidly. Williams, of course, comes in for Conlon in behind Ben-Hur. Rowney and Hutchinson keep their places from last season. I've not improved them. Going into next season, maybe that's the sort of thing we'll do. But last year, they were both brilliant. I don't really want to lose that. Again, look at the stats I'm running there. 23 assists, 16 goals. I had 16 of it on each for the other side with Hutchinson. How can I possibly change that? At the back then, Pierre keeps his spot. Huge season for Pierre. If he can improve his marking and tackling, it'll be gold dust in this division. But he has to do it sooner rather than later. Igibor, or Ike as I'm calling him, is on that right-hand side. Quite a similar player to Pierre, just a little further in his development. And then that back two this season of Amabak and Patterson. Amabak, he could be brilliant, and Sam Reed keeps his place in goal with, of course, Lazaro pushes him every single week, hopefully, for that starting spot. So this is what we're working with then. Team instructions stay very similar. We're no longer attacking from the off, though. We're going for a more standard approach and changing it based on how the game goes. And let's waste no more time. Let's play this first game of the season. First game of the Premier League season. It's Thames in the Premier League at Millwall's ground, which is not what we were hoping for, if we're honest. Look at that then. Thames in the Premier League. It's happened. For those that are interested, that's the prediction for this season. So, cheers. Right, they've played Bournemouth 8 times in the past. They've beaten us 5 times. We've only beaten them twice, and 1 draw in there as well. We've got some work to do to beat them today. My worry is, folks, that we didn't do very well against the good sides in our league last year. We beat up on the little kids, essentially. Amabak is going to get number 6, and Williams is going to get number 10. Some people said Ben-Hur should get that, but he very much enjoys 18, so I'm just letting him have 18. Also worth noting as well that Sommer's got number 9 for those that are interested. Right then, Robertson will be up front for them. We saw him last season, decent striker, got to keep an eye on him, but Amabak will deal with that all day. Right then, how we do? Williams behind Ben-Hur, a new friend for our midfield to play with. Let's see how we do. We owe Bournemouth after last time. I don't remember it vividly. Oh, we lost, definitely, we lost. So here we go then, Thames versus Bournemouth in the Premier League. It's just, I could repeat that all day, every day. First chance of the game, Ben-Hur. We're seconds in here. This is unlikely. Rowney should have probably scored, to be honest. 25 seconds in, we could have even won the lot. I noticed there, Casillas, one of Bournemouth's other strikers, is unavailable today through injury, so that's good news. I have no idea how we're going to do. I'd love to know the attendance as well. That'd be interesting to find out. We're going to break our Premier League attendance figure, I think, being at... I say Premier League attendance figure. We're going to set one of those, but league attendance figure, I think being at the Den, we're going to improve upon it. Right, the first sort of 10 games of the season, although it's a pivotal time, we kind of have to figure out how we're going to do. I have no idea how this team will fare in the Premier League. I don't really know standard-wise where we're at. Beating teams like Bournemouth would obviously be a good start. Losing to them would be a major issue. Thames come forward though with it. Hutchinson into Jimenez to Ben-Hur, shot on goal, and Ben-Hur scores his first goal in the Premier League. Hopefully he knows what division he's in, and maybe, just maybe, he'll sign a new contract, although we've run out of wage budget, so I don't know what we're going to give him exactly. The first move from Thames, though, Jimenez lays it into Ben-Hur, 1 touch at his feet, and the finish is superb. Thames 1, Bournemouth 0, and I'll say it again, in the Premier League. It's just so enjoyable, viewers. I'm just having such a lovely time. I'm fascinated to see how we get on this season. As we get to half time, it's just going to be an adventure to see how we do. Of course, I am trying to win the league, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So far, pretty even half. We've probably just had the better of it, and we've got the goal to show for it too. I'm going to calmly sell them. They weren't that bad. Got faith in them. Go out there, do it again. Make it seem like a normal game. Because it is a normal game. This is the norm for us now. It's not. This is our first Premier League game. If you've been here since the first sort of 10 or so episodes, and now you're at this point, it took a while. Thank you for watching. As we're on the ball again, Casper into Williams, whose ball forward isn't great, but a touch from their striker there, Robertson, not the best, but although we do end up giving it away. Robertson into Malone now, and Robertson's got away from the back two. Shot comes in, just wide though, and Reed saw that coming. Williams is a little nervous. Of course, big game for him. So from the players we brought in, they're rough diamonds. They're not the complete finished product. You know, they're not the top players in world football. So they're going to have a few things like wrong with them in terms of they might not be that good in big games. They might not be consistent. But we've got to take punts on these sorts of players. Maybe at some point we'll do a sort of a behind the scenes like team report, squad view sort of thing, and go through it. As I will say, folks, time is ticking down here. And with 10 minutes to go, I've not made a change. They've made a few. I think Rowney is probably the only option to take off at this point, and Sommer, who I've mentioned before, can play in these wider areas and is left-footed, seems like the perfect player to bring on. Can't cross or dribble very well, but he can finish and he's very fast. And when Rowney's not having a particularly good game, you've got to bring him on. As we've got a corner, Casper, Ben-Hur to make it 2. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Amabak's there, but he's offside. Talking so hard. Okay, time is slowly ticking away. 5 minutes left to go. There's a temptation to go a bit more defensive here. I think I'm actually going to, and we're just going to try and see this out if we can. With the time ticking away, 3 minutes to go. Velasco is going to come on for Casper in the centre as a deep line playmaker. As much as the ball winner is probably quite important, I just want basically the change is the important thing. Waste a bit of time. As time is ticking away here, then it looks like that's going to be that, and it is a first win of the season. And our new recruits have looked alright, and 3 points on the board. I'll say it again. In the Premier League. I think the episode today is going to be called In the Premier League, I think. So, spoilers if you were catching up and you missed that. I'm really sorry. But there you are then. We win our first game. Looking good. Does Ben-Hur now? I'm interested because he wants to play in a better division. He now has played in a better division. Does he want to chat about that, Ben? Do you want to have a word? Ben-Hur shines. Yeah, he does. Yes, he does shine. Does he want to... Still unhappy. Still unhappy. Problem is, folks, we might lose him on a free at the end of the year. That's the big worry. Right now, we've got our best player on a very small wage. I mentioned that, actually. Take a look at the contracts. You can see there's a bit of a difference between the top and the rest, and Ben Hur sits there in that list, like quite low down. Anyway, that's going to bring us to the end then. We sit 8th in the Premier League table. We'll try and keep these quite close together for our first season. I'm desperate to see how we do. So there's quite some interesting games there. I'm thinking maybe Manchester United and Derby might be quite a good combination of games. A big team and I say perceived little team. Derby are actually very good on the game this year. Yeah, they finished 5th last year, so maybe not. I'll figure it out. I'll see you again next time. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. Want to see some more? Subscribe to the channel, and we love with care from me, Little Benji. Until next time, goodbye. The Premier League. We're in the Premier League.